Welcome to the Private Practice with Soul podcast. My name is Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and I help private practice owners align their business back with their soul's calling, with their big vision and with their soul's purpose. Unlike other private practice coaches, I've traveled the world in search of spiritual resources, spiritual tools, education and information so that you can have the transformation that your soul desires and needs so that you can up-level your business. How much fun is this? I love it so much. Guys, if you're not already a member of the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group, please check out the show notes. I would love for you to be there. In the meantime, thank you so much for pushing play today. Let's begin. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Private Practice with Soul. OMG, I love talking about this sort of stuff so much. And today we're talking about the secret to creating a really memorable, a really unforgettable client experience in your private practice. And this is one of the things too that isn't really discussed in other places or in other courses, you know. And I don't really know what an unforgettable customer experience might mean for you, but I can definitely share with you the story and the journey that I went on with mine to make sure that my clients got so much more than they bargained for. And I want to share with you how you can create that experience, why you should be doing it, and just share with you how simple it can really, really be. So I guess, when you start out in private practice, you want to just devour everything that you can in terms of the good information that other people are putting out there, right? You want to download all the PDFs and listen to the webinars, and you jump into the free Facebook groups and you look at what everybody else is saying and you think to yourself, hey, I should be doing that too. And so you're constantly in scramble mode, I think, or at least that's what it was like for me. I was always feeling like there was so much more for me to learn, and so I was doing lots and lots of things, but not doing any particular thing well. But I could tick it off on my list of things I needed to have and do, yeah? And so one of the things I can remember somebody sharing was that you had to, sort of create this unforgettable customer experience. And that didn't sit right with me because it felt very retail, and I didn't see health as being a retail service. This is just my view. That's how it felt for me. And I thought to myself, is it ethical? Like what would it look like? And how can I create an unforgettable client experience that's still ethical, that's not going to breach any, duty of care or boundary or obligation? And so I felt really nervous about it, and I just bumped it to the bottom of my list. What I know now, some years later, is that this actually should have been one of the things that were on the top of my list, and that's why I want to share with you today a bit about my journey and what it was like for me. So let me take you back. I think I've shared with you in previous episodes that one of my very, very, very favorite places to go in the whole entire world is a country town in Victoria, Australia, and the name of the town is Daylesford. Now, Daylesford is only really, really small. It is a thriving community of health and wellness and happiness, and I love it. I love it because there's a little railway that goes through this country town, and every Sunday everybody comes together for this huge Sunday market, and people come and sell pumpkins and potatoes and turnips and swades and corn and stuff like this that they've been growing in their backyard. I bought a little jacket for Gabe, my sidekick over here, my little Maltese rescue dog, and a lady was actually knitting them, and I waited for her to tie off the last stitch, and then I bought it from her, and he's still got it to this day. And so it's a really beautiful space. They have healing waters there. It's a thermal mineral spring. It's called Hepburn Springs. So the big area is called Hepburn Shire, and it's considered to be spa country. And so lots of people go to Daylesford for rejuvenation, and I don't think it's just physical rejuvenation. I think it's rejuvenation of the mind, the body, and the spirit. There's not, as I said, there's not many people that live there, but it is a touristy destination. It has a main street, and in the main street, there's a little chocolate shop where they sell handmade chocolates. You can go there and have a nice chocolate. I remember the first time I went there, they made me a chocolate. They turned on the fire for me because I was the only one in the shop. I was first there. They said, would you like to sit near the fire? And I said, yes. And then they started the fire for me. And they gave me a mug of hot chocolate when I'd only ordered a cup. They put extra marshmallows on it. As I was drinking it, and I was just enjoying the whole atmosphere and I was feeling thoroughly spoiled, they came along and they gave me a little saucer that had 3 complimentary chocolates on it, just because they wanted to look after me because I was the first person in the shop. And nothing like that had really happened to me before. And I thought, wow. And then what happened was I was staying there for 3 days. So then I kept going back there for day 2 and day 3, and I had my breakfast there. And then there's a big bookstore there that I love. It's like, you know, Harry Potter, how he goes down Diagon Alley, and, you know, they're just all these little alleyways of these beautiful oddities and curiosities and things like that that he gets to explore. That's what this bookshop is like for me. It's called Paradise Books, I think. And when you go in there, you really feel like you're going down Diagon Alley because it is just full of all of these very narrowly put together aisles and stacks of books, new ones at the front, old ones out the back, and you just keep weaving your way and you go upstairs and around corners, and oh, I could get lost in there, and I love it so much. And every time I go in, I get another book. And there's a man that works there usually, and I don't know his name. He's got white hair and glasses, and he's always so kind, and he'll always find me in there like he finds everybody, and he'll always have a nice conversation with me and talk to me about books I'm interested in and make recommendations, and then he'll walk me to the spot where these books are, and then he'll put my book in a little bag, and then he'll recommend some more books. And so it's a really nice experience. So I always make sure that I go back there. There's a lot of little restaurants, and they all do different things. There's a couple of little bakeries, but one does gluten-free stuff. Another one is, I think it's called the Himalayan Bakery. I can't remember the name of it, but you can go in there and they cook you little breakfasts. And I love like this. I think it's called baked eggs. It's that's not the name of it. I want to say shakshuka. Yeah, they'll make shakshuka, you know, and you walk in there and it's this tiny, whiny little bakery, and it's only got the tiniest little row of tables, and I always manage to get one, and I always get the baked eggs. I always get the shakshuka, and every time I do, they recognize me and they remember me, and they say, you know, welcome back. It's so nice to see you again. How have you been? What's happening? How's Gabe? And so I go there for that. And then there's this crystal shop down the end of the street, Empress Wolf. And I love going in there because they have such a classy joint, you know. They lay out all those crystals like it's jewelry, and you just feel $1 million when you go in, and it just feels very, very special. And, you know, they've extended their shop, and out the back they've got books, card decks, oracle decks, tarot decks. You can have a reading done. They've got paintings, everything. And every time I go there, they always look after me so, so well, and they're never pushing sales onto me or anything like that. And they always make nice recommendations. I get a little complimentary crystal, usually something like that. And it's just a beautiful, 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 beautiful experience. And then I always stay at, I used to stay at Frango's, which is a little, it's a cross between there's a restaurant downstairs, and upstairs there's bespoke rooms that you can stay in. And I used to love staying there because the customer service again was amazing. I remember one time, like, they got the order on for the food, and then they comped our food for, you know, the breakfast and the lunch. I remember another time we stayed there was some issue with the lighting or the gas heating or something, and then they ended up comping our stay for that, you know. And it was not necessary, but it was something that made us really, really appreciate going there. And now I always take my mum there, right? So my mum's kind of new to Daylesford. When I say that, I've been taking my mum to Daylesford for about 5 or 6 years now, and we always go around our birthday. So I'm at the end of August. She's in the middle of September. We're both Virgos. And so on the weekend in between our birthdays, we'll usually go there for 3 or 4 days, or we'll try and get there over Easter. And we stay at a place called Shafali. And Shafali is like this, it's just amazing. It's a standalone house. It's got great big windows overlooking bushland. You get to see all the galahs, cockatoos, lorikeets, cacharels, kookaburras, owls, all of this sort of bird life. We've had lizards on the deck in there. It's just been so beautiful. And there's this great big spa in the middle of the floor that's like big enough for like 10 people, I reckon. And it's just, and it's got a little fireplace. But when we go there all the time, they really look after us. You know, like they'll come out if we have a problem and they take care of everything. And then they will leave a little gift or do something like that. Upon arrival, we get given mineral water from Hepburn Spring and lots of local produce to sample and try. And so it's because of all these extra little details. Oh, and when we finish staying there and we go and return the key to Dayget used to give us rock candy from Castlemaine, but the Castlemaine candy factory is closed now. And then they started giving us bath salts. And so it was just really nice. You go to Daylesford and you get looked after. It is the best. And it was when I was driving back from there a couple of years ago, and I was talking to Mum about how much value we get when we go there, how much we're looked after. Even at Mills Market in Ballarat, it's my favourite place to shop. You know, it's a mix of old world treasures with new things, right? It's huge, and you can spend a day there. It's just amazing. I love it so much. But they've got this huge cafe there, and they give you huge portions. Like, you're just well fed, well nourished. They give you an extra 10 minutes on massages at some of the places that you're not expecting. So that always feels like a little bonus. And I was reflecting on this to Mum a little while ago, and I was saying to her, I think part of the reason that I love going there is because they go the extra mile to look after us. Like, you come away feeling like you've been really looked after, you've been really taken care of, that you're important, that you were remembered, that you were special. And it was that caused me to have the aha moment for my private practice. And I thought, oh, I get it now. This is what everybody's talking about. How can I apply this to my private practice? But I started to come up against it when I got into the ethics of it all, because then, of course, fear mindset kicks in and you're like, well, I can't give them an extra 10 minutes of therapy, and I can't give away things because that could be misconstrued, and are we allowed to give away things or not, and all of this sort of stuff. But anyway, what I ended up doing was asking myself, okay, because, I'm all about alignment, and that's what this Private Practice with Soul podcast is. It's sharing my journey with you about how my practice became aligned rather than about strategy, and how from that place of alignment, expansion happened. And from that place of expansion, I got to work with my ideal clients and my ideal referrers and make my ideal income, right? So I'm sharing this with you. Anyway, so I got into that space, and I was thinking to myself, all right, what could I do? And then it was really thinking about things a little bit differently, and I'll get into that in a moment. But I think some of the common mistakes that private practice owners make when it comes to that level of client care is that they don't do the little things. Like, think about your own private practice. How do you embody the value of gratitude at your private practice? I work with private practice owners one-to-one, and I've got a group, right? The group is the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship. Now, most people will tell me that one of the values of their practice is gratitude and appreciation. And I say, that's cool. And then they'll throw up a question about their practice, and I think to myself, okay, so where are you embodying this value? Like, are you just giving it lip service? You have to be it, not say it. So have a look at how you can start incorporating values that you have into the practice. How can you make them real and tangible? How can clients know that gratitude is one of your values without reading it on a poster or reading it on your website? How can you give them the feeling that you're thankful that they chose you to work with? How can you give them the feeling that you appreciate them choosing you? How can you give them the feeling that they are appreciated, right? The other thing that private practice owners do, and it happens all the time, is they let people fall through the cracks. You know, it's not intentional, but it happens. It happens because instead of looking to the right, you're looking to the left and you don't see these people, you know. And it happens to every single private practice. I bet even in your practice, if you looked back over your client list, everybody who was referred, everybody who started with you, I'm sure in the last 12 months, I'm sure you would find at least 5 or 6 people that have just disappeared. They've just been ghosted. You don't know where they are. You don't know why they stopped coming. You didn't book them in for a follow-up appointment. You didn't take the time to embody that value of care and compassion by giving them a call, sending them a letter, contacting their doctor, whatever it is, right? People let clients fall through the cracks, and they're not following up. And then lastly, it's because you haven't yet understood what alignment looks like for your practice. And so how can you be creating experiences for your client that align with your values when you're not actually doing it, right? Printing up a poster and putting it on the wall, these are our 10 values, means nothing to a client. They're just going to go, okay. But imagine the experience of a client feeling appreciated, the experience of a client feeling like you're thankful for them, like you're grateful for them, or whatever value it is that you want to embody. Be the light, right? Don't just say it, be it. So here we go. This is a transformational podcast, as you know. I loathe things that just give you more and more information because you're busy enough. You don't need more to-dos. So this podcast is about helping you experience your own aha moment and your own transformation. And we do that through journal prompts. So here's today's journal prompt. If I were running my private practice in total alignment with my vision and my values, how would I be going the extra mile for my clients? Right? And the extra mile here refers to how would you be giving them that experience of your values? If I were running my private practice in total alignment with my vision and my values, how would I be going the extra mile for my referrers? Okay? And not just your top 5 referrers. That's BS. I don't understand this idea of only looking after your top 5 referrers. Every single person that sends you a client is the best referrer in the world because they thought about you, they made the recommendation, they took action on it, they got their client to come and link with you, right? Everybody's a good referrer. I think there's like this whole idea that you have to just like only honor the top 5 people who send you the most. And I think that's so far out of alignment with me. I want to thank everybody. Why wouldn't I? Why would I just focus on 5 people? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. When I think about gratitude, why would I only choose to have gratitude for the top 5 people who are sending me the most referrals? It doesn't make any sense. I want to have thank you. I want to have gratitude. I want to have appreciation for every single person that took action on recommending me, on recommending my practice, on recommending my team to their clients so that then they could become my clients. And client acquisition is gold. It is worth its weight in gold. You know, customer acquisition simply means somebody has paid money. There's been a financial transaction, right? That's very different to a lead, isn't it? If you think about money you might put into Google ads or Facebook ads to get your leads, you know, it's hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. And yet here you've got a doctor down the road that sent you a client that have become customers straight away. What is that worth to your practice? And if you want your practice to grow, like attracts like. You want to put that vibration out there, express gratitude to every single person that sends you a client, and you watch what happens. Your practice is going to expand. Don't only focus on the top 5. It's BS. Okay. The last thing that I want to share with you is Creating your private practice with soul is such a transformational journey, and it's something that you can definitely experience shifts and transformations insofar as you can absolutely increase your turnover. You can get your hours back. You can do a little bit less direct client work so that you can work on the business. You can recruit your team in alignment, and it's easy, and it doesn't cost you very much money at all when you do it from a soul aligned space. And you can handle just about anything that's thrown your way. And if you have new ideas about things that you want to do with your practice and you can't do them now because you're too busy doing all the direct client work, I can help you with that. And the doors are opening now to the 90-day coaching program. It's called Business Success from the Inside Out, because I believe that the strategy is only 20% of your success in private practice, and that the 80% of your success in private practice is going to come from this inner work that we've been talking about today, from getting you into alignment with your purpose, with your vision, with the things that are meaningful and valuable to you, that light you up, that make you feel really, really good. Guys, your private practice can be easy. It can be easy. It doesn't have to be hard. And I'm here to show you just how easy it can be, because I get it. I've been there and I've come out the other side. I know what it's like to feel overworked. I know what it's like to feel like, hey, I started private practice to work less and spend more time with my family, and then have it completely backfire. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to think you're going to make more money, but then crash. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be afraid to charge fees when you've been bulk billing. I know what it's like to be afraid to raise your fees. Even though you've got the strategy, something just doesn't feel right about it. And, you get this niggling feeling that maybe you shouldn't be charging fees. I've been there. I have been there. And what I've learned through all of that process is that it's not so much about the strategy. It's about your mindset, and it's about understanding why you're put on this planet. It's about anchoring back into why you want to do this work, why you want to help this particular client group that you want to work with. And it's about how do we make everything come into sync with that for you, because it's when you're in sync that you're in your flow state. And when you're in your flow state, everything seems easier and lighter and different. So when you come along and do coaching with me, it's not so much about, I'm going to give you all the tools. No, of course I'm going to give you tools, but that's not what it's all about. It's about helping you understand and anchor back into, first of all, what does alignment mean to you? Or what is your purpose? If you don't know what it is, let's figure it out, because otherwise, if there's no change on that inner level, there's not going to be any change in the external level, which is what you're seeing in your practice. Everything that's happening in your practice is a reflection of everything that's happening in your mind. Think about that. And so I have put together this 90-day coaching program so that you can get some quick results, so that you can start increasing your turnover. So yes, of course, there's a bit of an investment to do the coaching. It's only $135 a week for 26 weeks, or it's $269 a week for 13 weeks. But the goal is, let's look at where the opportunities are for your practice to help you increase your turnover and reduce your direct client work, if that's what you want to do. Create new opportunities for your business, find new revenue streams, get you out of revenue streams like Medicare perhaps, or insurance, and let's look at new revenue streams that feel good for you, that aren't restrictive, that will allow you to practice in the way that feels aligned for you, where you can have the biggest impact, where you can get the biggest results for your clients. Let's do that. And that's why I created that program. Okay. So head over to the website. I'll put the link in the show notes. All the information is there. If you do nothing else, at least go and read that information, and you will know that it's there. And if you want some more information, I'm happy for you to send me an email. I'm happy for you to get on a call with me. We can have a quick phone call. We can do it on Messenger. We can do it on Zoom. We can just have a traditional phone call. I don't care. my job is to show up as this person who's been through it, who's learned the lessons herself, and who's now ready to give you guys the shortcuts so that you can have the private practice that's soul aligned for you, so that you can have the freedom, the income, the time, the lifestyle that you wanted to have all along, while you're still helping the people that you want to help. Okay? So go ahead, check out the show notes, get in touch with me. Let me know either way. Tell me, Brooklyn's not in my budget right now, but I'm really interested. Can I go on the wait list for the next round? I only take 5 people. The doors are opening now. The next round starts on the 1st of July. It opens quarterly. I only work with 20 one-to-one coaching clients every year. So if you have a look at the website and you say to yourself, well, I want to do it, but it's not in the budget right now, that's cool. Get in touch with me, because I can still help you, and I would still love to help you. And there are other things that I've got that can give you that support in the interim, like the private practice mentorship group. We've got people incubating in there where they're getting to know me better, see how I work better, have their own coaching experiences better. We've got a coaching call today at 11 o'clock. If you want to join before then, you're welcome. And, you can come onto that coaching call, get some help. There's supports here, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to get the help that you need. Okay. And I can't wait to help you. I can't wait. We've got a celebration thread in the group as well, and success stories on the website that you can go through. And they're so inspirational, and we add to them every single week. So keep your eye on those, and keep all these things in mind. But as I said, the doors to the private practice coaching program open today for a July start. It's only open to 5 people. So head over to the website, which is in the show notes. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts. Get in touch with me. And I'm here to help. And I can't wait to work with you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast today. If you're looking for clarity, if you need help with branding, your processes, and bringing everything into alignment with your soul's purpose for your private practice, head to the show notes and click the link for more information about the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group. You are going to love it. I can't wait to see you in there. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.